Hey guys, welcome back to this week's video. I just wanted to drop a quick video around measuring the oil on the 2021 Goldwing Tour DCT and also adding oil. And we'll be going over like different positions, what the manual says about checking the oil and adding the oil, measuring on the kickstand, the center stand, and then actually an upright chalked kickstand, which we're trying to get as close to operating position as possible. And let's get into it. All right, guys. So in an attempt to get the most accurate reading for the oil check and the top off, we're going to refer to the manual on page 171. It says for GL 1800 BD/D/DA, the D is the DCT. Check the engine oil with the idling stop system disabled. If the engine is cold, idle the engine for 3 to 5 minutes. We've done that. Turn the ignition switch off and wait for 2 to 3 minutes. And that's what we're doing now. We're waiting. Place your vehicle in an upright position on a firm, level surface. Okay, so I'll show here how I verified that I have a firm, level surface. And let's see, remove the dipstick and wipe it clean. Insert the dipstick until it seats, but don't screw it in. Okay. Check that the oil level is between the upper level and the lower level marks on the dipstick. Securely install the dipstick. Okay, so adding engine oil. If the engine oil is below or near the lower level mark, add the recommended engine oil. Remove the oil filled cap. Add the recommended oil until it reaches the upper level mark. Place your vehicle in an upright position on a firm level surface when checking the oil level. Do not overfill above the upper level mark. So let's try it in a couple different positions and see what result we get. Okay, so our first attempt at measuring the oil level, we're going to do it just with the bike sitting on its kickstand. So it's going to be off kilter, and we'll see how badly this throws off the actual measurement of the oil. Okay, so just as a reminder, on the 2021 Goldwing Tour DCT, you feel the oil, as in add the oil, on the left-hand side of the bike, and then you check the oil. The dipstick is actually in this little hole on the right-hand side of the bike. So we're going to unscrew that and remove it. Okay, so now we are positioned down on the right-hand side of the bike. And it's maybe because my bike is all blacked out, but the dipstick has a little white mark someone put on there with like a white Sharpie, just maybe to ensure that people can see that the thing's in there or not at the factory, because it's all blacked out, it's kind of subdued. So we're going to go ahead and remove that here. So we're just going to unscrew this. Now at this position, the bike is on its kickstand. So it's not upright as the manual recommends. So we're gonna pull this guy out. And I don't know if you can see that. So the stick is damp, and I have idled the bike over 5 minutes, just basically following what the manual is saying. So if you guys can see that, that's a dry stick. And then I just drop it back in there, and it says do not screw it in when you make the measurement. So with the bike on its kickstand, there is, look like there's no oil. If you guys can tell that or not, there's no reading whatsoever. Still dry. I'll do that one more time. So we'll do this one more time. Goes all the way down. Just tapping it down. Not gonna screw it in. So the bike on its kickstand has a 0 reading. You guys can see just a very little bit on the tip. So just food for thought. You know, it's 847 pounds of curb weight on the DCT. And if you go to check the oil with the bike on its kickstand, side stand, you're gonna have a bad reading. Okay. So now I'm going to set it up on its center stand. Be right back. Okay, I've shown this procedure before, but I'll go ahead and show it again. Go to the kickstand, center stand. You just step on the center stand, transfer your weight. Now the bike is up on the center stand. We'll let that sit for a few minutes, just let the oil settle, because it's going to bring the oil back to center. And then we'll take another measurement. Okay, so we're back to check the level, and the bike is now on the center stand. And we'll see what measurement we get here. So it's still loose, just sitting in the reservoir. We'll give this a quick view. Oh, look, you can tell now we have oil. I'm going to clean that off. The dry stick. So dry stick back in with the bike on its center stand, which definitely sets it up right, but it brings the rear tire up, so it's not its normal operating position. And the bike just says set the bike, the user manual just states to set the bike in the upright position. So, but it doesn't state that we can or cannot measure the oil on the center stand. So, if you look now, we have oil. We have oil on our stick. It's like right in the halfway mark. So the next feat will be to measure the oil with the bike upright and not on the center stand. So that means we have to come up with some kind of way to see, to get the bike upright and to be able to check the oil. So that's what we're going to do next. But if you notice, so it shows halfway from the min line to the max line. And then the manual states to add, when you add oil, you want to add oil up to the max line, but do not exceed the max line. So I think this is, well, if this was an accurate reading, this would be within operating range. But you know, we don't know it's an accurate reading. So on the kickstand, the oil shows to be halfway between min and max. So that's our baseline for this measurement. Okay, I switched to a 2x6 for the chalk, and I got a little bit more vertical out of it. So we're gonna use this. Let's give it a shot. Okay guys, in this measurement, we are on the side stand, we're on the kickstand, and we're on a 2x4, actually 2x6 that I had in the garage. So it's pretty close to vertical. And I even have a level on the back seat. So I'll give you a quick shot of that. And it's, but I don't know how level that back seat is either, because when I make that level on the seat, it feels like it's too far to the right. It doesn't feel straight up. So we'll see what we get from this measurement. Still trying to make it a single person job to check the oil. All right, so I'm gonna take this guy out. Clear it off. Okay, so as you can see, we're starting. Maybe I'll focus. Focus. There we go. So as you can see, it's dry. We did not screw it in. It is definitely lower than what it was on the center stand. And that total distance, I feel like it was right in the middle when it was on the center stand. So I feel like this is more accurate. But as you can see, it's, you know, from min to max, maybe a quarter difference. But this is the part, this is how I'm gonna add the oil. So we can see I'm definitely not at the min. So if this were a quart fill from min to max, then I'm saying I need, man, that could be 3/4. So maybe it's not gonna be that. We'll see. I'm not gonna add that much at once. So let's give it a shot. I definitely feel like in this position with a chalked side stand, it's gonna be more accurate than on the center stand, but it's not off by that much. So if I was out in the field, I mean, I wouldn't fill it up to the max line. But I mean, if you just, you know, out in the field, throw it on the kickstand, you wanna add a little bit of oil if you needed to. That'd probably be the better way to go, and just know it's gonna be reading a little bit high, you know, maybe a quarter of the measurement high. So, but if I was within a quarter of the top line, I would be pretty comfortable about riding, you know, or continuing to ride. So let's add some oil. Okay guys, so for this last couple measurements, I went back and idled the engine again. I ran it up more than 5 minutes. I just, you know, I was concerned the oil was cooling down with all the changes in bike position and me talking and everything. So just FYI, we are still on the side stand on a 2x6, and the bike is pretty close to level. And so I have added almost a half a quart. So as you guys can see, so the stick is dry. Let's put it back in. We don't screw it in. Let's bring it out. Okay, so as you can see, now that I got the engine hot again, and it is hot, it's warm to the touch for sure. After adding the oil, almost half quart, I'm up to the max line. So I'm definitely not gonna add any further oil at this point. So the intention was to, you know, a single person check your oil. I would think in the real world, what I would recommend is go on your center stand on a level spot, check your oil, know that being on the center stand could bring it up almost a quarter of measurement high. But I'm assuming if someone's checking their oil, you know, they want to see if they're burning oil. You know, maybe they're going to Alaska or something. They just want to get an idea. The best way to do it is to prop it, you know, try to bring it to level. Now, something I didn't show that I can do based on my stature is I can sit on the bike and reach down and check the oil. So I can, at operating temperature, you know, I could unscrew the thing. I probably put it on the side stand, unscrew the dipstick, and then sit on the bike, bring it up to what feels level to me, and then make the measurement, you know, if I was, you know, on a trip or something like that. For someone else that may not be able to do that, you could chalk the side stand. So you guys see we have a consistent measurement. It's right up to the max. Like I have here, which is pretty close to level. But even doing that, you have to be careful because you could tip the bike the other way. So maybe that's not the best way to go about it. With a center stand, it's going to be secure, but just know it's going to be about a quarter measurement over on the center stand or in that neighborhood. So if you were just wanting to see if you're burning oil, and I guess what I'm trying to say is I wouldn't add oil if you're going to do a center stand measurement. If you just want to see how much oil you have and just do some mental math to say, okay, center stand means it's going to be a little over. Or if you're riding with a buddy, you could obviously like have them, you know, stand on one side of the bike, hold it up, you know, get a two-man job going. You know, you just don't want to drop this bike, 847-pound curb weight. So, but definitely not on the side stand. You know, it looked like we had no oil. On the side stand, it looked like we had no oil. So that's going to give you an erroneous measurement. So center stand is going to be about a quarter measurement high. If you can get it on its wheels and chalked it up where it's pretty close, then it's going to probably be as close to a true measurement. And it seemed to me that I was in the middle of the measurement before I added almost a quart. So, or I'm sorry, half a quart. It's actually less half a quart. I'll show how much I added here in a second on the actual jug, on the quart. So, but that's my assessment. You know, take it or leave it. It's just definitely not as simple as, you know, check the oil that's on its side stand. Don't do that. You're going to have way off because it's going to look like you have no oil. Center stand is better next step, but it's going to show a quarter of the measurement high. So don't be concerned if it shows over max on the center stand. At least you know you have oil. And then some kind of chalking or holding it in the upright position at operating temperature is the best. So in any case, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.